Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my World Chalice Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for August 2024. I really am a big fan of the World Chalice deck. It's a deck that basically introduced Link Summoning to us in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, being one of the first decks to come out of Code of the Duelist to be a main Link Summoning focused deck. We also got the Justiciar Synchro off of the ban list, so with that we have more added support for a deck that was meant to run the card, but as always with cards like Brilliant Fusion, where the cards are used as engines, it affects the deck that the card was meant to be in. But very happy that we got the card back, and I figured an update was due to the deck to show what it can do with the added support that we got back off the ban list. No new support has been announced yet for the World Chalice deck, but you never know, we might see some down the road. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For the World Chalice monsters, we're running 2 copies of each of the normal monsters. So 2 copies of Chosen by the World Chalice, 2 copies of Crowned by the World Chalice, and 2 copies of Beckoned by the World Chalice. We have plenty of search options in the deck for these cards, so I think that a 2 of count for each one of them is fine. And for the synchro option for Ib the World Chalice Justiciar, you can choose and treat a World Chalice normal monster you control as a tuner. So using one of these monsters to go into it basically means we can use our Crowned by the World Chalice or our Chosen by the World Chalice with each other or another monster we run in the deck to be able to synchro summon that card out. For the additional support, we're also running 3 copies of Lee, the World Chalice Fairy. With this card, if it's normal or special summon, you can add 1 World Chalice monster from your deck to your hand. If this card's in your graveyard, you can send 1 monster from your hand or field to the graveyard and add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect of Lee, the World Chalice Fairy once per turn, but it's search power, and then also just set up to, once again, as I said, grab the World Chalice monsters from our deck to our hand for us to use, or even some of our bigger boss monsters, which we have in the deck as well, including our World Legacy World Chalice. If a monster is special summoned from the extra deck, except during the damage step, you can tribute this card, send that monster to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of World's Legacy World Chalice once per turn. If this face-up normal summon or set card leaves the field, you can special summon 2 World Chalice monsters from your deck, except for World Legacy World Chalice. And during the main phase, except the turn was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to add 1 World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. More search power also and setup using this card, a definite 3 of because it has such easy access in the deck for you to use also. But with that power, you also have the special summon setup just responding for the extra deck monsters that your opponent may use. And being a World Legacy monster, it also has a little more synergy as well for you to be able to have that setup to add a World Legacy card off of cards like Justiciar also. I have the 1 copy of World Chalice Guard Dragon. If I were to run 2, I would probably take out the Herald of the Orange Lights that I'm running as added hand trap options in the deck for some of the other cards as well. But with World Chalice Guard Dragon, when a card or effect is activated that targets your linked monster, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. And you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 normal monster in your graveyard and special summon in defense to a zone of link monster points. So resource engine for your normal monsters to get back onto the field, but also being the big play for you to have added setup for you to use with your other cards, protecting them on the field by sending it from your hand or field to the graveyard, and then having that graveyard set up to then use this card again. And then for more of the added Link Monster Summon setup, 3 copies of the Agent Venus and the 3 Mystical Shine Balls that work with it also. Just more useful setup for normal monsters on the field. Some of our initial setup cards like Imduck, the World Chalice Dragon, just need a normal monster except a token. So if you can summon Shine Ball off of your Venus, it's not a once per turn. You can get plenty of normal monsters on the field for you to then use for your extra deck plays. And also 2 copies of Exodius, the Ultimate Forbidden Lord. This card's in the deck just for the shuffle back power, shuffling back our resources, whether they be the Shine Balls, the normal monsters for our World Chalice lineup. Exodius gives you that special summon resource in the field to then use as an additional monster, but also recycling your engine for you to use again. And then for the hand trap spot, 3 copies of Herald of the Orange Light. This was a card that was limited for a time, but now at 3 power, it's definitely very useful in the deck. But once again, if you wanted to bump up Guard Dragon to 2, you could always drop this to 1 of copy. You use it with the fairy monsters in the deck, which are your Lee, the World Chalice Fairy, and then also our Venus and Shine Ball options. So any additional, Venus that you may have in your hand can be used with the Herald of the Orange Light also. And then also 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring to finish off the hand trap spot of choice as well in the deck for the monsters. For the spells, we have a couple one-ofs that go over the World Legacy and World Chalice options. So 1 copy of World Legacy Discovery, more of a special summon option, and then a power boost to our World Chalice monsters on the field for this field spell. 1 World Legacy's Heart. You target 2 World Chalice monsters in your graveyard with different names, add them to your hand. And also, if your Link monster would be destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. And then the 1 World Legacy Succession as another special summon option, 2 arrows on the field. They're all searchable once again with Justiciar, so depending on which one you may need for your play, you have search access in the deck to do so. We also run 3 copies of Unexpected Die, just because it helps with the special summon power of a normal monster to the field if we control no monsters. So very, very useful in the deck just to grab that resource without taking away our normal summon. And then the 2 copies of Emergency Teleport. We only have 2 psychic targets in the deck, that's why I'm only running the 2, that being our Chosen by the World Chalice, with the 2 of targets to then have 2 targets to grab with this card. The 1 Monster Reborn for, once again, just like our less of a restriction, World Legacy Succession, to summon cards onto the field. And then the 1 Reinforcements of the Army to search out our last but not forgotten warrior monster, normal monster, being our Beckoned by the World Chalice to the hand. Because if you go for the Mystical Shine Ball play with our Venus, you can then have the additional normal summon thanks to Imduck, and then get out the monster search from your Rhoda also. And then the only trap that I run in the deck are the 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. I feel like the Herald of the Orange Lights and the Ash Blossoms are fine enough with the Impermanences as well to run in the deck for the lineup you may want to go for. But that is it for the main deck. Moving on now to the extra deck. We run a good number of World Chalice monsters for the extra deck. To start off, the 2 copies of Imduck, the World Chalice Dragon. 1 normal monster, except a token. During the main phase, you can normal summon 1 World Chalice monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. At the start of damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster this card points to, you can destroy that opponent's monster. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 World Chalice monster from your hand. So more or less a kind of watered down copy of Relinquished Anima that you can use with your World Chalice normal monsters on the field. The 2 copies of Aram, the World Chalice Blade Master. It gains 300 attack for each World Legacy monster in your graveyard with a different name. You contribute 1 World Chalice monster this card points to, then target 1 other monster in your graveyard, special summon it to a zone this card points to. A great way to build up your Link monsters on the field as well, using this card. And if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 World Chalice monster from your hand to extend more resources as well, because cards like Lee can be summoned onto the field and get their searches from there also. And then the 2 copies of Ib, the World Chalice Priestess. Once again, another target that you can summon back with cards like Aurum. And then this Link card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. And if a monster's card points to be destroyed by a card effect, you can send this card to the graveyard instead, as more of a protection card that you can set up with Aurum on the field, also using this card. And then also the 1 Ningirsu for the World Chalice Warrior. If it's Link Summon, you draw a card equal to the number of World Chalice monsters this card points to, so added draw power depending on where you place it on the field. And also with this card, you can only use the effect once per turn. Once per turn, you can send 1 card from each player's field to the graveyards. If this card's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 World Chalice monster from your hand. Just more extension plays from your hand for you to use out onto the field with your World Chalice monsters. And then also the 1 Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax, needing 2 or more monsters special summon from the extra deck. So more and more Link summon resources if you're able to get out an Ib and an Aurum from your extra deck using monsters on the field, just needing 2 World Chalice monsters and 2 monsters with different types and attributes. You can then use these 2 cards to get out your bigger monster on the field as a bigger boss monster to run with your World Chalice cards. The 1 copy of Defender of the Labyrinth, 1 Barricade Board Blocker, the 1 Landfornicus, which this is actually a spot for Lib, the World Chalice Keystar as well. So if you wanted to run Lib in the deck, you can replace it for this card. And then the 1 copy as well for some of the higher Link monsters in the deck also. 1 World Dragon Zelantis and the 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World to finish off the Link monster lineup. For the other non-Link monsters, the 1 Justiciar of the World Chalice for the option for its Synchro Summon to be able to treat a World Chalice normal monster as the tuner, and then also you can only use each of the following effects of Ib, the World Chalice Justiciar, once per turn. If it's synchro summon, you can add one World Legacy card from your deck to your hand, which if you recycle it, you can always resynchro with it again. And if the synchro summon card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon one World Chalice monster from your deck or graveyard. So just more extension for your plays as well. With the last of our monsters being our fusion monster, World Chalice Guard Dragon Almarduke. You need 3 link monsters, which you can either fusion summon it or special summon it from your extra deck by attributing the above cards you control, in which you do not use polymerization. So just the attributing play is the main one you'll go to with your link monsters to get out this boss monster. It can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, and when an attack is declared involving this card and opponent's link monster, you can banish one link monster with the same link rating as that monster from your field or graveyard to destroy that opponent's monster. So we have a wide variety of link monsters in the extra deck, depending on what you go for. Plenty to range from for your plays, so you can use all of them in turn with your World Chalice Guard Dragon Almarduke to be able to summon out your different monsters for that play. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, as for added setup, a lot can be done with just your additional normal monsters, but I would say one of the best plays in the deck revolve around the Creation Venus, because if you can summon this card out and you have the full play ready to use your Mystical Shine Balls, paying the life point cost for those monsters out onto the field, can give you the additional resources you may want to use using those monsters, because then if you have your 4 monsters, you can go for the Link 1 play to then summon out your Imduck, the World Chalice Guard Dragon, using its effect to gain an additional normal summon if you have that monster in your hand for that summon, because then if you have Crowned by the World Chalice and the Venus on the field, needing one tuner or one or more non-tuner monsters to be able to summon out your Lib, the World Chalice Justiciar, you can then use your 2 different monsters on the field, so the Venus and the World Chalice monsters together, to then be able to summon out your go-to synchro monster, which then, with this card summoned down to the field, you can use its search play, searching out the needed World Legacy card you may want to go for as well, being able to either have that additional special summon option, you can grab your World Legacy World Chalice, or even one of your spell cards, like your World Legacy Succession, to then have more special summon power, because then you can use the Imduck and the Shine Ball as well. Or you can go for the additional play of your Imduck and your Shine Ball to go into your Ib, the World Chalice Justiciar, or even the play beforehand, keeping the Shine Balls on the field. You can go for the Ib and the Imduck to summon out, needing 2 World Chalice monsters, your Aurum, World Chalice Blade Master, activating the effect of Ib, the Justiciar, to then be able to summon out the additional World Chalice monster from your deck to the field, and then from there you have the extra deck resources to use the Shine Balls for an additional summon of a World Chalice monster to then get those 2 monsters on the field, using it if you use the Shine Ball for another Imduck with the monster you summoned off of the Justiciar, to then go for your Link 2 play of your Ib, the World Chalice Priestess, and then you can Link climb from there also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, always like updating this deck, and it feels like with the addition of Ib, the World Chalice Justiciar, we have extra strength added to the deck as well. But as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.